It could have been because I knew that something was going to try and stomp out my life. At some point in time, like I say, I was running, or I created all the good, happy life forms, and then at another point, I realized that something was going to try and remove life from the universe, so I created some life forms which would be very hard to kill. Um, so, because I knew that there could be, I think that these life forms shouldn't move. Like I said, they're probably a plant, a type of plant or something like that that's intelligent or something like that. Um, I'm not exactly sure what they are really. I just know that they're very dangerous and humanity should not go near them. They're out there on some planet. Like I say, I think there was about 700 or 800 galaxies away. They have a lot of room to grow, and they shouldn't ever contact Earth or humanity. But they are the type of life form that would not die very easily and should be fine. Anyway, they're intelligent. I think I don't really know. Like I say, I just created these things because I was worried about uh, someone trying to kill life forms or whatever. And so I purposely was mad and upset and wanted to make some sort of life that would be able to survive an attack. Because, like I say, Richard Nixon or Jimmy Carter, they were not going to stop until they basically killed or tortured everything. Like they were just continuing going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. You know, they were unstoppable basically. Once they got to where they were like gone. You know, and so like I say, if you're really that bad, you basically go until something puts a bullet in your head. So, and Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon, they basically got to that level where they would just basically live forever and until someone killed them and made sure that they had never existed or killed or died, you know, because, JFK created like 30 or 80 clones of himself and was going to basically create this clone. He had 30 clones. You know, Jimmy Carter had at least 20 or so. I don't really know. Like, it was ridiculous. Like when I found out and I found them, like I was like, wow, that's ridiculous. Like me cloning myself 60 times just so eventually one of my clones could help me out or something. Like it was just like, oh, this is a headache. I'm over this. But that's what they were doing with the government and all the money. You know, just going for cloning and like I said, the Earth actually had cloning since 1920. So, you know, they had cloning actually relatively early. And definitely had it that by 1820 they had cloning or so. And then by 1920 they had cloning or they had like they could increase the birth rate, but then 1920 they had cloning or something like that. And created the first clone around 1920. But anyway, though, and they were just like whatever, you know, and just doing, you know, they were saying for the Republic, for which really just meant for, you know, them basically. Anyway, and you know, in the end, I'm just like, give me a gun. I'm over this epic stupidity. Basically, a bunch of people running around saying war, death, you know, basically just breaking laws and killing as many people as they can. And no laws, no rules. Everyone has to look over their shoulder. Have to sleep with a gun underneath your pillow, which lasted about 50 years or so. John McCain would wear guns on either side, and he was the gunslinger, you know. And he eventually hung up his guns because the world was safe or whatever. He had killed everyone he wanted to kill. I mean, back 50 years ago, everyone wore guns underneath their armpits. You know, those gun holsters, I made them, but like apparently like everybody needed them because everyone else was trying to shoot them. You never knew when someone was going to pull a gun on you. That lasted from 1920 on to about 1950 or 1960. Which is just ridiculous when everyone has to wear a gun holster. You know, I made a couple of them and they were pretty cool and everything else like that, but I didn't think it was like a needed thing that you needed to wear guns, you know, and they basically just mostly just shot people in the back. Lots of people in the back. So, and that happened between 1920 and 1940 or 1960. So, John McCain wore guns everywhere he went. So did Richard Nixon. So did all the people. People in China were wearing guns because you had to, because you never knew when a Republican was going to pull a gun on you. So, I invented the holster, or had the holster made, but I didn't think that that was going to need to be a way of life. It's like gunslingers, you never knew when someone was going to pull a gun on you. Richard Nixon liked the side holsters because you could go into like this and grab it and pull it out quietly and then shoot someone in the back. That's why and it was just wholesale death. So, that's not really what I envisioned them for. I produced all these things and had them made and had them done, but I didn't think that it was going to be like you had to watch out for the guy that was going to shoot you in the back every day. Like, they killed thousands of people by shooting them in the back. That's all they did. The Republican way was to shoot someone in the back, or when they weren't looking, or surprise attack with a Gatling gun, mowing down tents and teepees, or buildings. They'd pull up with a Gatling and just start pranking away at some poor house, kill everyone inside. And that's my fault. In a way, I invented them. I paid for them to be made. I did the metallurgy and paid for the research of the metal. It's my fault. And that's what John McCain and Richard Nixon were doing, is just killing everyone. After people had worked and done so much work, they would just mow them down and keep the money. Saddest, ridiculous thing ever. I just couldn't believe it, really. And actually, in the end, I was like, wow. That's what my humanity has come to. Having people work and then shooting them in the back. And then doing all these laws saying that everyone has to not shoot people in the back because they've already killed millions. And that laws are so prevalent and we need to respect the law because John McCain was finally too old to pull the gun out and shoot people in the back. And Richard Nixon was finally old, so it wasn't so easy to strangle a girl anymore. That's what humanity came to. Like, the psychopathic killers finally got old. It's like, a Chinese person, they never shot people in the back. That was dishonorable. So they would never do it. But a Republican would. Oh, yeah. That's all John McCain and Richard Nixon would do. So, and some belief that the person dying would have a vision, or have it burned into them who killed them. Richard Nixon and John McCain were really paranoid in the end. So, thought that I would know, or somebody would know because they had shot them in the front or something. But realistically, they just didn't want to get shot. Someone has, not that someone could actually, I guess you could shoot a guy in the back 6 times faster than they might get off one shot at you, and you might actually get hit in the leg or something, or even get hit in the heart. If you attack them from the front. So that's all John McCain did and Nixon did, was shoot people in the back.